Good evening and welcome back to another girls basketball game tonight here at Hamilton High School. We're going to see the girls Huskies against the Xavier Gators tonight. Xavier Gators are 2-2 in their last 4 games, and they lost their last game to Chandler, 71-46. Hamilton is on a 2-game winning streak, beating Basha and Highland in their last 2 games. Last time they played Xavier, they won 60-29. They're ranked number 3 in the state and number 2 in Premier. Our starting lineup tonight features our seniors on both teams, so that we're honored tonight here on senior night. We're getting ready for the jump. And we're down into Hamilton. The ball's number 13. Excuse me. Number 13.
Basket by King.
Oh, and the ball goes out of bounds here. Moving back in motion, number 13, Victoria Davis with the ball. Moving down the paint, the ball goes over to Xavier. Number 30, Elisa Fleetwood. Ball over to number 12, Susido.
Susido with the basket.
Down into the middle of the court, number 4, Amaya Reeves with the ball, who goes for the layup but misses. Over to Davis, over to Martinez, I believe. And out of bounds
Hamilton ball.
By the Gators, and it's now Hamilton ball. Davis with the ball on their side of the court, over to Reeves.
Foul whistled on the play.
For the Gators.
Number 5,
Sherinsky.
After the shot.
Reeves passes the ball over to Davis. Passes the ball over to Martinez. Over to Roy Ball. Back over to Reeves, who goes up for the 3 and makes it.
Jumper is good by Reeves.
Number 11 in the corner, freshman Mia Davis, goes up for a 3 but misses. Where number 5 on that team, Sherwinski, loses the ball. Rearranging themselves on the court here. It's Gator ball. At the top of the court, we see Sherwinski. Guarded by number 3, Roy Ball.
Foul is on Reeves, her first.
Foul on number 3. Back at the top of the court again. Passing the ball down to number 30, Fleetwood. He passes it over to Susudo. Over to Apple. Running down the court, number 4, Amaya Reeves. Over to number 3, Roy Ball, who misses her shot. And it's now Gator ball, but is taken by Davis, who goes up for the 2 but misses. Down the court again is number 30, Elisa Fleetwood. And now Mia Davis has the ball. Passes it over to Sherwinski. Back over to Fleetwood. Back over to Susudo, where Mia Davis has the ball. Passing it over to Sherwinski. Back to Davis. Looking for an open play. Passing it back to Sherwinski at the other end of the court. Guarded by Reeves. Over to Fleetwood, who goes up for the 2 and makes it. Now we have a tie score to 4-4 with 1 foul on each team. Moving down, Reeves has the ball. Tries to pass it off to Davis, but gets blocked by number 30, Fleetwood. Davis ends up getting the ball, who goes up for the 3 and misses. And a battle between the 2 teams for a ball now. Husky ball.
Checking in for the Huskies, Sam Curry replacing Ali Martinez.
Number 33, Samara Curry is coming in, replacing Martinez. And the ball moves down the court from number 5, Sherwinski, over to 12, Sasudo, where the ref calls a foul on the ball.
Curry picks up her first, second team.
And that's Curry's first second team foul of the game. Xavier number 12, Sasudo has the ball. Guarded by Davis. Passing it over to Fleetwood. Guarded by King, another senior here on the court tonight.
Foul whistle on the play. 33, Sam Curry, her second.
Another foul by Sam Curry. That's 2 in a row. Excuse me, another foul on Sam Curry, who goes up for her first shot and makes it.
Free throw good by Fleetwood.
For her,
22, Vanessa Washington checks in for
her second free throw going up. And she makes it. That leaves the score at 6-4 with the Gators in the lead. Moving down the court from Reeves over to number 22, Washington, who checked into the game. And Reeves went for the underhand layup, but tripped and fell. It's a foul on her.
30, Fleetwood, her first.
This is Fleetwood's first foul of the game. Going up for her first shot and makes it. For her second shot now. Lining herself up with the rim. Going up. And makes her second shot. Tied score of 6-6. Moving down the court. Long throw by Sasudo. But falls out of bounds and is now Gator ball again. Fleetwood at the top of the court. Passing it to Sasudo. Down over to number 2, Apple. Who passes it over to Davis. Back over to Sherwinski. And now Fleetwood has the ball again. Back over to... Eventually back to Fleetwood. To Sasudo. To Apple. To Fleetwood. To Davis. Who goes up for the 3 and misses. Down Husky ball now. Reeves running down the court in a fast break. Passing the ball off to number 3, Roy Ball. And switching directions here, we have Fleetwood with the ball. Over to Sherwinski, who passes the ball off to Apple, who goes for the 3 and makes it.
Three-pointer good by Apple. 30-second time.
It's Apple's first 3 of the game.
Hamilton.
Moving forward here, we see a nice swift play between both teams. Gearing up to have a very interesting game tonight with Hamilton's number 4, Amaya Reeves, with 4 points on the board. Number 34, King, with 2 points. Number 2, Apple on the Gators with 3 points. Number 12, Sasudo, with 2 points, and number 30, Fleetwood, with 4 points on the board. Here with 3 minutes and 21 seconds left of the first quarter. As the teams go back onto the court, Huskies have four more timeouts left. Davis at the top of the key with the ball. Passing it over to Washington, going down the court, which switches over to Sherwinski, over to Fleetwood, back to Sherwinski in the Gator zone, who goes up for the 2, but passes it off to number 12, Sasudo. Back to Sherwinski, who goes up for the 3 but misses. Back down the court to number 22, Washington, where she goes up for the 2 out of the fast break and makes it.
Basket by Washington.
Number 30, Fleetwood passes it over and is intercepted by Washington, who goes up for the 2 again but misses this time. Down the court, we see Fleetwood passing it off to Sherwinski. Sherwinski over to Sasudo, over to Apple, over to Fleetwood, who fakes it and passes it off but loses the ball, and it's taken by King. Down the court by Reeves and up by Washington, who makes the 2. Really swift plays here by the Huskies. From Sherwinski off to Apple, back to Sherwinski trying to make a play down the court, over to Fleetwood. Moving down the court nicely, but it's thrown out of bounds, and Mia Davis can catch the ball. Husky ball this time, and we see number 44, Reagan Farrington checking in, and number 5, Burnett. Maya Reeves with the ball, who passes it off to Farrington for the 2 but misses. And the ball rolls out of bounds. It's now Husky ball. Scores 10-9 currently. Huskies in the lead. 1 minute and 41 seconds left. Moving the play down the court, we see number 5, Burnett with the ball, who passes it off to Reeves. Passing it off to Farrington, who goes up for the 2 and makes it. Moving down the court swiftly, we see number 5, Sherwinski, passing it off to Fleetwood. Back to Sherwinski to number 23, Coder, who goes up for the 3 but misses. Over to Farrington, back to Reeves on the Husky side, who goes up for the 2 but actually gets blocked by Fleetwood but still makes the 2. Timeout has been called here by the Gators.
Full timeout.
We see 3 fouls on the Husky side, 2 fouls on the Gators. Number 4, Amaya Reeves, still with 4 points, with 6 points now. Highest scoring player on the Husky side. And we'll be back after this timeout. Back onto the court here. We see Fleetwood passing it over to Apple, passing to Sherwinski. Back to Fleetwood. Passes it down the court to number 23, Coder. There's a foul.
Number 5.
Whistle with that last pay. Number 5 takes the foul. Burnett recently checked in for the Huskies. Number 23, Coder, passing it over to number 5, Sherwinski. Back to Apple, over to Sherwinski, who's guarded by Roybal. Over the head of Farrington to number 13, Baraket. Excuse me if I mispronounced that. Sherwinski passing over to Coder, who goes up for the 3 but misses just barely. Over to Roybal on the court. Back over to Burnett, who misses her shot and is intercepted by the Gators. Now we see Fleetwood with the ball, who passing it over to Apple, misses her 3. And after a struggle between the ball, it is now Gator ball. At the top of the court, Sherwinski passing it off to Fleetwood. Passes it over to number 13, Barakat. To Fleetwood. And the ref calls a travel. Excuse me. Turnover on the ball. With Davis at the ball, top of the key, passing it over to Reeves. Seems to be a discrepancy, but Davis takes the ball, going out and up for the 2 and makes it. And that's at the buzzer. The score is 16-9 at the end of the first quarter, with the Huskies in the lead.
Huskies 16, Gators 9.
That's total of 4 fouls on the Husky side and 2 on the Gators. Interesting night here over at the Husky court. We'll see what comes back in the next quarter.
Start the second quarter.
Back on the court with the second quarter. Reeves passing the ball off to number 13, Davis. It's at the top of the key, guarded by Sherwinski. Passing it off to number 3, Warball, who misses the shot. Over to number 22, Washington, who has to struggle for the ball and is fouled by number 30, Fleetwood.
30, Fleetwood.
Husky ball.
Second, 13.
Reeves at the top of the court. Who took too long to pass the ball off, and now it is Gator ball. Fleetwood at the top of the court now, guarded by Washington, who passes the ball over to Sherwinski. Back over to Fleetwood, who almost loses the ball but makes it down the court, passing it off to number 23, Coder. Off to 12, Sessudo. Coder over to Fleetwood, over to Sherwinski, guarded by Davis. Moving around the court slowly, passing it off to Fleetwood. To Sessudo, over to Sherwinski, over to Barracote, over to Fleetwood, who makes the shot. Down Davis at the top of the court, calling out for a nice play. Passing it to no one and going up further to herself. Passing it over to Roybal, who goes up for the 3 but misses. Back into the Gator hands now. Coder running it down the court. Fleetwood with the ball now at the top of the key, who goes up for the 2 and makes it. Score is now 16-14 with the Huskies in the lead. Davis once again with the ball at the top of the key. Who almost threw the ball out of bounds, but was caught swiftly by Burnett. Over to Roybal, over to Reeves, who passes it off to Burnett. Goes up for the 3, but hits it off the top of the tree. Reeves passes it off to Washington, who misses the 3 as well. And Xavier steals the ball. Going down, we see Fleetwood passing the ball off to number 12.
3-point basket.
Who makes a 3, Sessudo. Davis went up for the 2, but had the ball taken by Sherwinski. He's running down the court now, passing it off to Coder. Over to Fleetwood. Who falls with the ball. And number 5, foul.
Foul whistle on the play. Burnett
See some subs on both teams. And
42 Garcia checks in for the
Sudo
game.
passing the ball off to Apple. Passes it off to Fleetwood, who calls over Sherwinski, but he's walking with the ball, guarded by King. Passing it off to number 12, Sasudo. Passes the ball off to Sherwinski. Passing it back off to Sasudo, who drops the ball and lets it roll out. Xavier ball. Again, Sasudo guarded by Reeves at the side of the court. Over to number 5, Sherwinski. Throws the ball over the basket. Running down the court, we see number 33, Curry, who tried to go up for the underhand layup but missed. Tripped over another opponent's leg. Number 22, Washington, going up for the layup as well, but also getting blocked by the Gators. That's
With the error.
2 more calls on Hamilton. Now Xavier ball at the top of the court. Running down 30 to Sherwinski, who passes it over to 42. Number 42, Garcia, who travels with the ball. And is now Hamilton ball. Reeves and Davis at the top of the court. Moving down, Reeves trying to get the ball to Roy Ball, who passes it over to King instead. Back down to number 33, Curry.
By Curry. Assist. King.
See Apple pass the ball over to Sasudo, who passes the ball off to Fleetwood. Sherwinski with the ball at the top of the key, trying to get close to one of her teammates. Passes it off to Apple eventually and misses the shot. You see Reeves down the court, passing it over to Curry, who goes up for the floater, but misses again. From Fleetwood to Sasudo, over to Apple, who goes up for the 3 and misses. Over to Garcia, who falls out of the court, and it's a Husky foul.
16.
It's the 6th foul for the Huskies tonight. With 3 minutes and 29 seconds left of the second quarter. Moving the ball around the court, we see Sasudo passing it over to Fleetwood, who loses the ball due to King, and is now Xavier ball. Apple at the top of the court, trying to find someone open, passing it off to, Mia Davis, who's back on, number 11. 6'1" freshman on the Gator team. Running down the court, we see Maya Reeves, guarded by Sherwinski, but passes it off to Davis. Davis passes the ball to Reeves, but she loses it. Down Fleetwood into a fast break, who's going to go up for the 2, but misses. Davis back down the court, moving swiftly for another fast break, up for the 2, but she makes it. Scores 20-19 here. 2 minutes and 46 seconds left. Davis went up for another 2 and making it again. To number 5, Sherwinski, down the court over to Mia Davis. To Fleetwood, trying to get someone open and passes it off to Sasudo. Over to Sherwinski, who's blocked by Reeves and is called out of travel.
Vanessa Washington returns, replacing Roy Ball.
Now number 22, Washington, back in the game. Davis coming out in the court, guarded by Sherwinski, and double teamed by Sherwinski and Sasudo. Eventually gets called to travel. side of the court, we see Fleetwood passing it off to Sasudo, who's double teamed by number 4 Reeves and 13 Davis. Loses the ball, and it's still Gator ball. Over to number 5, Sherwinski. Passing it off to Fleetwood. Over to Sasudo. Trying to get the ball to Apple, but she's not open right now. Who goes up for the 2 herself, but misses. Down the court from Curry to Davis, who goes up for the 2, but misses. And there's a foul on number 5, Sherwinski.
30, Fleetwood.
Fleetwood, excuse me.
Davis will shoot 2.
Victoria Davis going up for her first shot. Senior on Hamilton team who broke the 1,000-point record last week Thursday in her game. Being the 6th senior at Hamilton to do so. Or a student in general, excuse me. Misses her first shot. Going up for the second. And makes it. Top of the court, Mia Davis. Passing it over to Sasudo. Over to Apple, who almost loses the ball. Back to Davis, who tries to get out of the double team between Reeves and Washington. Who moves to Sasudo being double teamed by Reeves and Washington. Husky ball. Davis and Reeves at the top of the court. Down to half court. Top of the key over to Burnett, excuse me. Back to Washington. And eventually Burnett tries to catch the ball, but is thrown out of bounds by Xavier. Husky ball. Reeves passing the ball in the court over to Curry, who goes up for the floater but misses. And it's now Gator ball. Score is 23-19 with 1 minute and 14 seconds left. The ball's in over to Davis, over to Sasudo. Passing it down to number 4, Reeves, who intercepts the ball, actually. Going up for the 2 and making it. Quickly moving swiftly from Apple over to Sherwinski. To Davis to Sherwinski. Down the court is Sherwinski. Passing it off to Sasudo, who almost got it intercepted. Apple up for the 3 and misses. Running down the court, you see Davis. Going up for the 2, but missing. And it's intercepted by Samara Curry, excuse me. Reeves with the ball. And the ref calls travel on the Huskies. Roy Ball and Farrington are back on the court. Number 11, Mia Davis. Got travel called on her. Reeves is back in, placing Washington. Number 3, Curry with the ball over to Farrington, who goes up for the 2 and misses, but rebounds and makes it. Down over to Sasudo, over to Sherwinski, back to Apple to Sasudo, who goes up for the 2 and misses. Farrington intercepts the ball and passing it down to Reeves, moving down the court quickly. Who goes for the 2 but misses. Over to Burnett for the rebound and makes the basket at the bell, giving us a final score of 29-19 at the halftime bell. We see number 4, Amaya Reeves, with 8 points on the scoreboard. Burnett with 2, Curry with 2, and with 4 points we see Farrington, her rebounds. Both teams are playing pretty well, and we'll see what comes out after we see this halftime show from Hamilton. Stay tuned. Please excuse the issues with our camera. We're trying our best to make sure you still get the full game. Number 11, Mia Davis with 2 points. And number 12, Victoria Sassuto has 5 points on the Gator side. 7 minutes and 50 seconds left until we return. right, welcome back. 30 seconds left until we move into the second half of the game tonight here between the Xavier Gators and the Hamilton Huskies. Currently, the score is 29-19 with the Huskies up to 10. Seeing a lot of good moves here on senior night, in which both teams' seniors were honored. Starting on the court, we've got number 5, Sherwinski, number 11, Davis, number 30, Fleetwood, number 2, Apple, and number 12, Sasudo on the team for Gators. And we see number 4, Reeves on the Hamilton side, passing it off to Davis to start off the half. Davis with the ball at the top of the key, passing it off to Roybal. He passes it off to King. Over to Davis to go up for the 2, but it's blocked by Fleetwood at a height of 5'11". Obvious height difference there. So she got blocked. Sherwinski, guarded by Davis at the side of the court, passing it off to Fleetwood. Passes it off to Sasudo. Over to Fleetwood. Goes up for the 3 and makes it.
3-point basket, good by Fleetwood.
That's 12 points of the game for her. Davis with the ball now. Passing it over to Reeves. Over to Roybal for the 2.
Skip by Roybal.
Sasudo to Fleetwood, back to Sasudo down the court. Over to Fleetwood. Fleetwood guarded by Davis, passing it over to Sherwinski. Reeves locks the ball, and it gets handed over to Davis, who goes up to Reeves for the 2, but misses and falls. The ref calls a foul, and the ball turns over to the Gators.
Curry returns for Martinez.
Fleetwood passing the ball over to Davis, who passes the ball off to Apple, back to Fleetwood. Down the court in a fast break, Fleetwood tries to hand the ball over to Sasudo, but she drops it. And now we see Curry over with the ball on the Husky side, going up for the 2 and making it.
Curry.
6 minutes left. Sasudo going up for the 2, but it's getting blocked by King. Going down to Reeves. Way over to Davis in the corner, who goes up for the 2, but misses. Back up for the 2, but makes it.
Rebound and a basket by Davis.
Sasudo off to Davis in the corner, who goes up for the 3, but misses. Down to Davis, going up for another point, but misses.
Foul whistle against Hamilton.
A foul against Hamilton.
Roybal picks up the foul. First team, first person.
On Roybal, excuse me.
Coder and Garcia check back in.
Coder and Garcia are back in the game. Apple passing the ball off to what can I assume will be Sherwinski. Back to Apple, over to Garcia. Moving down the court over to Sherwinski. Double teamed by Washington and Roybal. Who steps out of bounds, and now it's Husky ball. Washington at the side of the court, passing it off to Reeves. Getting the ball back in motion. Guarded by Sherwinski at the top of the court, passing back off to Washington. Who passes it over to Roybal in the corner, who goes up for the 3 and almost makes it. Garcia over in the corner, falling with the ball. Gator ball. It's a foul out of Reeves, which is her second team foul of the game. And Apple down over to Sherwinski, who throws it down to Fleetwood. Going over to Garcia, who actually gets the ball intercepted by number 33, Curry. Goes into a fast break, passing it over to King, who doesn't go up for the 2, but tries to pass off the ball, who ends up leading over to number 4, Reeves, back over to King, but fouls the ball. which is Fleetwood's 4th foul. All right, we got our picture back up. Switch out between Fleetwood and Sessudo.
Sessudo returns.
Reeves over to Curry, who almost falls on the ball. It's an offensive foul on Curry.
13.
See number 12, Sessudo, at the top of the court, passing it off to Sherwinski. Back over to Sessudo, who drops it out of bounds, or doesn't catch it, rather. The ref is calling a switch out. Garcia is out, and in is number 15, Hannah Young. The 6-foot freshman, Hannah Young. The ball gets over to Sessudo, who drops the ball and gets over to Reeves, who passes it off to Roybal, who tries to shoot, but is fouled by Sessudo. She drops the ball, and Roybal gets 3 shots.
Oh. First personal, second team. Timeout. Xavier.
Timeout called by Xavier. Score is 35-22 with the Huskies in the lead here. We're about halfway through the 3rd quarter. And leading with points right now on the Gator side is number 12, Sessudo, with 5 points. And following behind her is Apple with 2 points. Number 4, Reeves is leading with 8 points right now, but 2 fouls, leaving us with 3 fouls on the Huskies and 2 fouls on the Gators. Moving through halftime, Roybal for her 3 shots. Now she could possibly get the Huskies up a couple points, leave them in the lead for a little bit longer. Going up for her first shot, and she makes it. Really nice angle she's got going on there. Has great skill. The 5'3" junior, excuse me. Up for her second shot and makes it. You can tell she's been doing this for a while. For her last shot, up for the 3rd point she could possibly make, and she makes it. All 3 points for her team. Gator ball over to Apple, who passes it off to Sherwinski, who makes the ball. Is double teamed, passing it off to Sessudo, who's called a travel. Husky ball with Washington at the side of the court. It's going to pass it off to Reeves to keep the ball moving. Trying to get her teammates open. Passing it over to Washington. Washington double teamed. Passing it off to Reeves. Over to Roybal. Over to Washington in the corner. To King. To Reeves. Up with Roybal. And misses the 3. Number 15, Young, is in the game. Over to Coder. Over to Apple. Down, we see Coder pass it off to Reeves. To Young, excuse me. And in the corner, Sessudo over to Young, who goes up but travels with the ball. Score 38-22 here. Farrington's back in the game, and so is Davis. Other end of the court, we see Davis passing it off to Washington. Davis going down the court. Nicely passing the ball over to Washington in the corner. Back to Davis. Over to Roybal. Over to Burnett, who came back in the game not too long ago. Farrington going up for the 2 and makes it. Moving down. Apple over to Coder. Over to Sherwinski. Over to Sasuda. Sasudo.
Sasudo with the basket.
Davis down the court. Over to Roy Ball, who passes it off to Washington, who moved her place. So it was thrown out of bounds by the Huskies and is now Gator ball. Back in the game, Mia Davis is in and Apple's out. Sasudo passing the ball over to Shawinski, who passes the ball over to Sasudo, but is fouled on number 22.
22 Washington, her first,
That's a Washington
14.
Her first foul of the game. Sasudo over to Shawinski, over to Davis. And Coder gets the ball up by Young, who tries to fix her rebound and still misses. A foul on
Young will shoot.
15, and Young gets her foul.
15. 2 shots for Young.
Young gets 2 shots, going up for the 3. For the shot, excuse me. Misses her first shot. Up for her second one. Makes it. Scores 40-25. Huskies in the lead. Davis down the court, followed by Burnett. Off to Burnett, passing it over to Washington, who almost loses the ball but keeps it in motion. Washington over to Davis, looking for someone to get open. Over to Farrington, who doesn't quite catch the ball. So the ball is now in the hands of the Gators, with Sasudo at the top. Passing it off to Sherwinski, trying to get to Davis, who's being blocked by Burnett right now. Over to Sasudo, over to Coder, up by Young, and back down by Burnett and Davis, who goes up for the fast break, and the 2, who misses the underhand layup, but is caught the rebound by Burnett. Davis over to Sasudo, up by Young, who misses the layup. Over to Sherwinski, and the ball is taken by Farrington, but the ref doesn't call that. Out is Burnett and Washington, in goes King and Roy Ball. One minute and 40 seconds left here of the third quarter. Mia Davis with the ball, guarded by King. Likewise in height. Up for the 2 is Davis, but falls a little short. Over to Victoria Davis, who runs down the court in a fast break, passing it off to King, who keeps the ball in, passing it out to Davis again. Looking for an open player, is going to pass it off to Reeves. Over to King, over to Farrington, who doesn't get the ball and is intercepted by Mia Davis. Over to Sasudo, who catches the ball before it falls out of bounds, but is intercepted by Amai Reeves, who goes up for the 2, back down the fast break, and makes the shot. 57 seconds left. Moving down the court. It's a lot faster now. Sasudo trying to pass it to a teammate, but almost falls out of bounds. Reeves back down the court over to Davis, who goes up for the 2 and makes it.
Davis from Reeves.
Moving in both directions here really swiftly. 38 seconds left. Down Sasudo over to Sherwinski, but it's intercepted by King, who goes up for the 2 and makes it, which I believe is her first point of the game. 25 seconds. Moving down. Number 12, Sasudo over to Sherwinski, up for the 2. The 3 makes it. For the 2. Down the court, Davis planning on holding the ball for the next 10 seconds. Excuse me. Maybe for one more shot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that's the buzzer. Score of 48-27 with the Huskies in the lead. Huskies have 5 fouls, however, and the Gators have only 2. Leading is number 13 with points on the Huskies right now. Davis is leading with 11 points. And number 12, Sasudo on the Gators side with 7 points currently. 8 minutes left of this half, with the fourth quarter arriving slowly. Both teams putting up a good fight tonight. And the point gap between the two teams doesn't appear to be that far. Only 21 points in the lead are the Huskies. It can all change within a matter of seconds. And the Huskies are now back on the court. It is Husky ball. Reeves off the side. Over to Washington, I assume. Actually, to Davis. Davis getting the ball. Over to Washington, who goes up for the 2 and falls on top of Garcia. Offensive foul on her part.
Washington, her second, 16.
16 foul. Over to Fleetwood. Over to Garcia. Moving down the court in a nice fast break. To go up for the 2 or pass it off to number 33. Keoli. Excuse me if I mispronounced that. Seeing her in for the first time. Down the court is Washington. Over to Roybal, who goes up for the 3 and makes it. Really nice shot there by Roybal, the 5'3" junior. Over to Keoli, to King, who intercepts the ball. Down to Reeves, to Davis, to Roybal. Over to King, who goes up for the 2 but drops it out.
Husky ball.
Subbing in, we see Curry.
Sam Curry returns for the Huskies.
Swapping out Washington. The ball, King. Over to Curry. Wants to go up for the 3, but decides not to and passing it off to Davis instead. Really knows what she's doing with these ball handling skills tonight. Over to King.
By King assists Davis.
Going down the court from Apple to 21. Alamedin, we're also seeing her in for the first time in the game. Sophia.
33 Keo picks up the foul, her first. 13.
Number 12, Sasuda subs in for Alamedin.
With 11 points.
Scores 53-27. Curry passing the ball over to Roybal, who gets intercepted by Garcia, moving down to Fleetwood, who passes it off to Apple. Passing it over to Sasuda, who goes up for the 2 and makes
basket by number 12, Sasuda.
Reeves over to Curry, down by Reeves. Over to King, who goes up for the 2 and
Another basket for King on the assist from Reeves.
Huskies just racking up the points here tonight. Apple tried to make a pass, but was blocked by the 5'11" junior Curry. Husky ball now. Farrington swapping in for King. Reeves over to Farrington, who goes up for the 2, but just barely misses. Down there we see Sasudo, double teamed by Curry and Reeves.
Husky ball.
Apple dropping the ball out of bounds. Husky ball now, with 5 minutes and 31 seconds left of the fourth quarter. Score is still 55-29 here tonight. 6 fouls on the Huskies and 3 on the Gators. The ball's in Burnett's hands, who misses the 3. But we're running down here from Sasudo to Fleetwood. It's going to go up for the 2. Pushing her way through there, but still missing. Over to Roybal. Down to Reeves. Over to Curry. To Reeves. Back to Curry. To Farrington, up for the 2, who misses. It goes up for the rebound and makes it.
By Reagan Farrington.
From Fleetwood to Sasuda, who almost loses the ball. Down to Sherwinski, who's back on the court. To Garcia, over to Sasuda, but the ref calls that a foul.
Foul whistled on 44, Farrington, her second.
On Farrington, Garcia's going to shoot.
Martinez and Washington return.
Her free throws.
Garcia for 2.
First one up. And she misses. Down the court, we see Reeves passing the ball off to Washington, who's in the corner. The wing. Top of the key, Reeves loses the ball, but it gets over to number 21, Martinez. Oh, back on the court on her senior night here. Reeves getting the ball, going up for the 2, and making it. On the wing, Washington moves out, but doesn't get the ball. Ball staying there. No shot made by the Huskies this time. Running down, Fleetwood. Passing it off to Davis. Over to Sasudo, the 3 but misses. Reeves moving down the court. Over to Curry, back to Reeves. To Reeves, we've got Curry, back to Reeves to Curry, who misses a shot, and there's a foul. 7 fouls on the Huskies now. Still only 3 on the Gators.
Number 30, Fleetwood, she fouls out with 12 points.
Fleetwood fouls out with 12 points in this game. 4 fouls. That's 1 ounce of height leaving the Gators tonight. Number 33, Curry, up for the shot and misses. See a few subs on the Huskies. Going up for the 3. She makes her foul shot. Curry moving down the court. Score is 58-29, still 29 points for the Gators tonight. Really trying to get past Hamilton's defense. Sasudo over to Davis, who misses the ball over Curry's head. Curry down the court for the floater and misses. Back over to Curry for the rebound, and she makes it. 2 points, 60 points for the Huskies. 3 minutes and 10 seconds left. Sherwinski at the top of the key. Passing it over to Davis at the foul line, who misses. Back down to Curry. Goes up for the floater but misses. And tries to keep the ball inbound. Over to Sasudo for the fast break, guarded by Davis, who pushes Davis over. And that is a foul. Looks rather happy about that tonight.
Her second, 15.
Swapping out the entire Gators team right now. A few new faces. Number 35, Ireland Blim.
5 new Gators on the floor.
21, Alamedin is back in. Number 4, Rachel Orr. And number 25, Lauren Edisi. The ball gets over to number 11, Storm Yengen. On the Husky side, moving down to Edisi, keeping the ball away. Over to Ireland. Blim. Alamedin gets the ball now. It was taken by Davis. And
Foul
Blim
whistled
drops.
on the play on Davis.
Foul on Davis. Gator ball. Or Ireland gets to shoot.
Senior Tori Davis checks out with 11.
Seniors Davis and King check out.
Ali Martinez also out. And King with 8.
Farrington checks in. All 3 seniors check out, excuse me.
Applause for the Husky Seniors.
That's the last of the Husky seniors tonight with 1 minute left of this game. Going up for the foul shot is Alamedin. Easy shot for her.
Alamedin with the free throw good.
5'10" junior. Going up again. Very unique shot she's got there, but makes it in every time. Game's moving a lot faster with the freshman Storm Yungen on the board, 5'3". Going down, number 32.
Gator ball.
Alamedin over to Edison. Over to number 10, Sash, who makes the 3. Moving very quickly here. Trying to catch up with the Gators. Score 60-34 now. Much improvement since they swapped out their team. Yingen with the ball. Over to number 32, who goes up for the 3 and misses. Over to Farrington, tries to keep it in motion. Up for the 2, but misses. Blocked again by the Gators. Alamedin trying to pull on the ball. And that's the end of the 4th quarter here. Final score is 60-34 with the Huskies winning. Huskies had 8 fouls this half, and the Gators, had 5 fouls. Leading on the scoreboard is number 13. Number 13, Victoria Davis with 11 points. And for the Gators, we see number 12, Victoria Sessudo with 9 points. The Victorias are doing quite well tonight. That about wraps it up here on senior night tonight. We'll see you soon for the playoffs. The Huskies moving forward. Improvement in score last time between the Huskies and Xavier, who scored the same points on the Husky side, but the Gators seem to have improved. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. I'm Adalis Pantry. Good night.